Hi, welcome to the other 167. For our short meditation today, let us turn to the small book of Philemon in the New Testament of the Bible. It's a very small book of one page. It's a personal letter of Paul to Philemon, unlike any other letter. Paul is in prison in Rome, awaiting trial because of his faith in Christ Jesus. He is writing this letter to Philemon, who is in Colossia. Philemon is a believer and a well-to-do businessman, a slave owner. Onesimus was a slave with Philemon. He ran away from his master, perhaps stealing something, and he met Paul, and the slave was transformed and became a dear brother to Paul. And Paul, the apostle, is writing this letter not with authority to command, but appealing on the basis of love. There are 3 points I would like to bring out from this small epistle of Paul to Philemon. 1. Beautiful pattern of sound words. Paul is writing starting with words of rapport, building up a rapport. He says, I thank God when I remember you in my prayers because of your love and faith in Christ Jesus. And I remember you with joy, and your love has given me great joy and encouragement. Then Paul is also using words of persuasion. Paul is saying, I am sending him, who is my very heart, back to you. I would have liked to keep him with me so that he could take your place in helping me while I am in chains for the gospel. Paul is saying, I do not want to do this without your consent, so I am sending him back, so it will be voluntary. Paul is also helping the person to see a little higher level, saying, perhaps he was away from you for a little while, for good, so that you will have him back for good, not as a slave, but as a fellow man and a brother in the Lord. Paul is also moving the emotion of the recipient by saying in verse 20, I do wish, brother, that I may have some benefit from you in the Lord. Refresh my heart in Christ. Confident of your obedience, I write to you, knowing that you will do even more than I ask. So it's a beautiful, effective way of communicating with the purpose of reconciling a runaway slave to the master. The second point is that reconciliation involves a cost. Paul is writing in verse 18, if he has done you any wrong or owes you anything, charge it to me. I, Paul, am writing this with my own hand. I will pay it back. We find many times when there is an issue between two people, everyone disappears. Instead of bringing comfort to the aggrieved and gently correcting the person who has done wrong, no one comes to the scene and willing to pay a price and cost to bring about reconciliation. Paul is saying, I am willing to pay the price. God reconciled the world to himself through Christ, and we are called to be agents of reconciliation. Not only reconciling man to God, but reconciling man with man who have broken relationships. The third point in this epistle is reconciliation brings joy and healing and restoration. In place of bitterness and brokenness, we should be agents of reconciliation. We will be patching up, we will be helping people to come together, building up and instilling joy and peace in their hearts and harmony. We are called to be agents of reconciliation, bringing about joy and peace. So I conclude, we should be people who will use beautiful verb pattern of sound words. Many times we hurt people by saying or writing things privately, and we appear to be very dignified in public. But for God, Everything is public. We fail to realize and remember this. We should be careful with our words, medium of communication to build up, help, restore, so that we'll achieve the purpose. Paul is using effective communication. We should be willing to pay the price of reconciliation. We should go an extra mile in this. We should be able to bring about healing and restoration. So may God help us to be agents of reconciliation, bringing joy and hope and peace, and willing to pay a price by using effective medium, sound words of communication, so that God will be glorified. May God grant us that wisdom and that strength and that joy to bring about reconciliation and healing. May God bless us with these words. Thank you.